Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. I, Survi Goel, and legal intern at Lake Slate. Today I am going to give you a brief on the case Keshav Nanda Bharti and other versus state of Kerala. Keshav Nanda Bharti was the chief pontiff of the Ennir Muth, a monastic religious institution located in Kasaragod district, Kerala. Bharti had some land in the Mood which he owned. The Kerala state government passed the Land Reforms Amendment Act in 1969. As per this act, the government could acquire some of the lands that belonged to the Mood. In March 1970, Bharti moved to Supreme Court under Section 32 of the Constitution to enforce the rights that were guaranteed him under Article 25, Article 26, Article 14, Article 19 Clause 1F and Article 31. The Kerala state government enacted another law, the Kerala Land Reform Amendment Act 1971, even as the petition was under the court's consideration. The contention made by the petitioners brought to the force the validity of various amendments that were brought in by the Parliament to nullify the effects of Golaknath versus State of Punjab. The petitioners challenged in the particular three constitutional amendments, 24th Amendment, 25th Amendment and 29th Amendment, and their validity. The issue before the court. First, whether the following are constitutional valid: 24th Constitutional Amendment Act 1971 and 25th Constitutional Amendment Act 1972. Second issue was the extent to which the Parliament can exercise its powers to amend the Constitution. Third was the question underlying the case also included was the power of Parliament to amend the Constitution unlimited. In other words, would Parliament alter, amend, abrogate any part of the Constitution even to the extent of taking away all the fundamental rights? So the contention of the petitioner was: first, petitioner contended that the Parliament can't amend the Constitution in a manner they want, as their power to do this is very limited. The Parliament cannot make any amendment to the Constitution to change its basic structure as was set forth by Justice Mudolkar in the Sajan Singh versus State of Rajasthan case. Second, they argued that the 24th and 25th constitutional amendments were violative of the fundamental rights provided in Article 19 Clause 1 Subclause F. Contention of the respondents. The state said that the Parliament's supremacy in the Indian legal system basic structure and hence it was boundless power to amend the constitution. The respondents stressed that in order to fulfill in socio-economic obligation, the unlimited power of the Parliament to amend the constitution must be upheld. The judgment was the Supreme Court held that the landmark judgment was delivered on 24th April 1973 by a rather thin majority of 7:6, wherein the majority held that any provision of the Indian Constitution can be amended by the Parliament in order to fulfill its socio-economic obligations that were guaranteed to the citizens as given in the preamble, provided that such amendment did not change the constitution basic structure. The minority, however, in their dissenting opinion, were wary of giving the Parliament unlimited amending powers. Second, the court held that the 24th Constitutional Amendment was entirely valid, but it found the first part of the 25th Constitutional Amendment to be intra-vires and the second part of the same ultra-vires. So, I would like to conclude the case. The case of Keshav Nanda Bharti versus State of Kerala, as mentioned, Supra had been heard for 68 days. The arguments commencing on October 31st, 1972, and ending on March 23rd, 1973. The hard work and scholarship that had gone into the preparation of this case were breathtaking. Literally hundreds of the cases had been cited, and the 10 Attorney General had made a comparative chart analyzing the provisions of the Constitution of 71 different countries. The majority of the bench wished to safeguard the Constitution by preserving its basic feature. The judgment was based on sound reasoning and it was given up after a careful analysis of multifarious respects. The bench opined that if the Parliament were to get unfettered power to amend, there were chances of that power to be misused. that government would change it as per their own preferences and whims. Such limitless powers vested in the hand of the government and would mean that the basic features and also the very essence and spirit of the Indian constitution could be changed. There was a need for doctrine which could protect the rights of both the Indian parliament and Indian citizens. The bench met this need halfway and came up with the basic structure or doctrine that protects rights of both the camps. It is bound to be noted that while in the US only 27 amendments have been made, India has seen over 100 amendments since independence. Despite this big number, the spirit of the constitution and also ideas of the constitution maker have not been tampered with. It is because of the bench's decision that the identity of the spirit is constitution have not been lost. This landmark case has given our constitution stability, even though the petitioner lost his case partially. The Supreme Court ruling in the Keshav Nanda Bharati case turned out to be severe for Indian democracy and also prevented the constitution from losing its spirit. Thank you so much. That's all for today. And please do subscribe to the channel.